Hi, I'm here for teaching you your 60-minute Hatha flow today. I've had a problem with the sound just now, so if you are watching me live, then let me know in the comments that you can hear me. So comment in the box and let me know that you can hear me. And if you can't, I'm not quite sure why, because it's working according to all of my checks just now. So can you hear me? Let me know now in the comments. Oh, yay! Thanks, Ashley. What a relief. Sorry about that. Don't know what's going on there. I normally do all of my checks before and it was all working, so it was a little blip. So let's now come onto the mat and start practicing. So we're starting a little bit later. Come down onto your mat if you're not there already. Thanks, Ian. Hi. So sorry about the delay, technical issues and all that stuff. So come down onto your mat if you're not. Lie on your back. Thanks, Marika. Phew. That's the joys of teaching live using technology. So, a nice lesson in yoga to accept what is and let go of the past. So let's all do that now and arrive on your back. Have your feet on the floor, your knees pointing up, and take your arms a little bit away from the body and have your palms face up. So I've decided to create a practice this morning that's going to ease you into your day. It's nothing complicated. The sequence isn't complicated. So hopefully it'll be suitable for all bodies, all levels, so you can all have a nice experience of waking up ready for your day. So feeling the soles of your feet on the floor, feeling the back on the floor, and the back of your head, the backs of your arms, the whole of your body. Tuning into the sound and sensation of your breath within your body. And then bring both knees in towards your body, taking your feet off the floor, and place your hands on top of your knees gently. And we're going to circle the legs in opposite directions, so you're creating mini circles in your hip joints. Taking the knees apart in opposite directions and then moving them away from you as you draw them back into the center. Then bringing your knees back in towards your belly, continuing that motion and taking it really smooth, noticing how your hips feel this morning. If you're not used to practicing yoga in the morning, it might be a surprise to you to know how stiff, or maybe you already know how stiff your body feels in the morning. So yoga can feel quite different. The asana practice can feel quite different compared to the evening or later in the day when your body is nice and warm. Then switch directions. Feel what it is to move your legs in this direction. So it's not a big circle, it's a slow, mindful circle. Feeling into the sensations in your hip joints. Okay, bringing the knees and feet together. Take your feet onto the ground and then bring the backs of your arms onto the floor again. Take your arms a little wider than your body, palms face up. Then step your feet to the edges of your mat. Then bring your arms above your head, stretching the hands behind you on the floor. See if you can get the whole of your both arms onto the ground, and if not straight, then you can bend the elbows. Then keep the feet where they are, nice and wide, and take both knees over to the left. And if it feels comfortable for your neck today, you could turn your head to the right. Letting your body gradually open up. There's no rush. Breathing here. Then bring your knees into the center. Position your feet at the edge of your mat. And take your knees over to the opposite side, turning your head if you did on the other side. And make sure that your shoulders are not hunched up towards your ears. Take your shoulder blades onto your back. Bringing the knees into the center. Take your feet back onto your mat. Bring your head into the center. And bring both knees in towards your belly again. Take the hands around the knees and bring the legs together. This time we're going to circle the legs in one direction, so you're taking both legs in the same direction. And feel how, as you do this motion, it's just a little motion, a little circle. It's like a massage into the back of your pelvis, into that sacroiliac joint. So we want to gently open up the back of the pelvis. And then switch the opposite way. Lovely. Now bring both knees in towards your belly. Hug your knees in towards you, but keep the back of your head on the floor. If you have enough room, take your arms out to the side, palms face up. If you haven't got much room either side of your mat, then bend your elbows at 90-degree angles. And keep your knees hugged in towards you as you let your legs roll over to the left side. And then turn your head, if it feels comfortable, to the right. Or if you've got a sore neck, keep your head in the center. And sometimes it can feel more restorative if you bring your face in the same direction as your knees. So this might feel like quite a stretch for your spine and back at this time in the morning. So be gentle on yourself. Don't force anything. Using a little bit of core strength, roll onto your back. Bringing the legs into the center and take your knees over to the other side. You may feel different from one side to the other. Coming onto your back, bring your knees in and take your feet onto the floor. Bring your heels all the way up towards your hips. Make sure your feet aren't together, so they're roughly in line with your hips, and point your big toes forward. So you want to make sure that your toes are not turned out like ballet dancer feet. Bring them in so they're parallel. And we're going to roll up and down the spine a few times, but we're not coming into bridge. So you don't need to come all the way up onto the backs of your shoulders. But have your arms outstretched beside your body. Plant your feet into the ground and start to curl your pelvis off the floor. Then the lower back, mid back, and maybe a tiny bit of your upper back. And then start to roll down again. And feel that roll all the way down to the very base of your spine. Let's do it on the breath. So inhale to lift the tailbone, back of the pelvis, lower back, mid back, a little bit of the upper back. And exhale to roll down bone by bone. Curling up bone by bone again on an inhale. And exhale. So we're not coming into a back bend, we're just warming up the spine. But keep trying to press the base of your big toes down so you don't roll to the outside edges of your feet. So this will be activating the leg muscles. Do one more round in your own time. And when you reach the floor, bring your knees in towards you, stretch your fingertips up to the sky, and let your arm bones drop down to the ground so you feel the backs of your shoulders coming to the floor. Then take a hand around each elbow and bring your arms behind your head, taking your feet to the floor. So for some people this can feel like quite a good stretch for the shoulders and opening across the chest and ribs. If you're particularly flexible, or you've been practicing yoga a long time, or you just find that you don't have any problem in this part of your body, then this could be simply a matter of tuning into your breath here. But if you feel stiff and this feels hard work for you, then really soften as much as you can and know that it's going to be helpful for you in your posture and your breathing. Okay, now bring your knees in towards you and take your hands around your shins. Draw the lower belly to the floor and hug the knees in even more until you feel like your abdominal muscles are working. Then start to lift the chest, shoulders and head off the floor, tipping your chin. And you might start to shake a little bit, vibrate a little bit. So you're using a little bit of core, but you can also use your hands around your shins. So you're making your body into a little kind of small bundle. Point your toes and squeeze your inner thighs together. Reach the arms up. Point your fingertips. Keeping that abdominal control there. Extend your legs. They don't need to be straight. Tuck your chin. And then take your head to the floor, take your feet to the floor and bring your arms behind your body, hands around each elbow. Okay, now rolling onto one side of your body, coming up to sit. Crossing your shins. If you find sitting uncomfortable for any reason, or if you tend to be someone who rounds your back, you can grab a blanket like I've just done, or if you have blocks at home, and sit up on your blankets. It really helps you to maintain an upright posture and just frees you a little bit more, so you don't need to feel so much tension, and we all want to get rid of tension. So take your hands either side of your body. Welcome, Susan. Come to sit if you have just arrived in the class. And take your your right hand out to the side and take the palm down to the floor. Then reach the left arm up. Look up at your arm and turn the arm so the palm faces the floor. And keep rooting down through the right hip. Drop the right elbow away. Start again. Drop the right shoulder away from the right ear. And maybe turn to look down. Come up to the center, take the left hand to the floor and bring the right arm up. And then we're going to twist to the left. So take the right hand to the outside of the left knee, turning your head gently to the left. Inhale, reach the right arm up, take it to the floor again, repeating the same posture, lifting up through the left side. And come back to the center. Take the left hand to the floor, reach the right arm up. Drop the left shoulder away from the left ear. Gently root down through the right hip and reach up through the right arm. Come back to the center. Right hand comes down, left arm comes up, and then twist to your right. It's just a gentle twist. Turning the head to the right gently for the neck. Come back to the center, bring the arms up and over. Stretching to your left again. Come back to the center, taking out a blanket or block if you were sitting on that and have it to the side. If you have got a block with you, have it handy for the practice later on. Okay, so coming onto your hands and knees. Take your shoulders above your wrists and your hips above your knees. And feel the soles of... Can you get soles of the hands? No, the palms of the hands. Feel the palms of the hands in contact with the mat, and the finger pads, the thumb pads, the fronts of the shins, the tops of the feet, and all of your toes. And see if you can find a way of pressing down through the hands, and that then lifts your chest and ribs up. And then tip the tailbone down towards the knees, starting to round the back. Let the head drop. And then the pelvis tilts the other way, keeping a lift, so try not to drop through the shoulder joints, looking forwards here, arching your back, and then rolling the pelvis the other way. So feeling the movement ripple up from the base of your spine to the crown. Each time you move your spine in both directions. Inhale in one direction, exhale the other. Taking it at your own pace. On your next exhale, which hopefully feels like you're rounding your back, bring your big toes together and sit back into child's pose, taking your forehead onto the ground. And for this child's pose, let's rest the elbows onto the ground. So we're slowly waking up the body. And come up onto your hands and knees from there. Take your feet apart and walk your knees back, lowering your thighs, hips, belly, chest, all the way to the floor. Bring your forehead down. Bring your legs together. Drag the skin of your hands, the skin of your hands back as you lift the chest for a very little baby cobra. Then press up onto your hands and knees. Come to child's pose again. Inhale up onto hands and knees. Take the toes apart. Exhale, lower thighs, hips, belly, chest, head. Inhale into baby cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Keeping the movement going now. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale to lower the whole body to the floor. Inhale, chest, shoulders, head lifts. Exhale, child's pose. Come forward again, hands and knees. Exhale to lower. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Sorry, child's pose. Getting ahead of myself. Child's pose. Hold it here in child's pose. And slowly lift up to hands and knees. Take your knees underneath your hips and tuck your toes under. Then walk your hands backwards towards your knees. And come to sit on your heels, which might feel a bit tight for some of you in the feet. Curl all of your toes under. Try to get even your little toes curled under, even if they don't reach the floor. And avoid the ankles rolling out. So get the heels right underneath the sitting bones. Place the backs of the hands on the thighs and lift your spine. Lift the crown. Slightly engage in the lower belly. Lifting up the pelvic floor. So I know from teaching this in my group classes that this can feel intense for the feet for some people, especially if you run or you wear high heel shoes. So see if you can find your breath here, Ujjayi breath, if you know it. A couple more moments. And then come onto your hands, untuck your toes. And then tuck your toes again, take your hips back towards your heels and push the hands away from you like you're trying to split the mat in two. And then wrap your triceps down towards the ground and let the chest sink towards the thighs. The head moves down between the arms. Lift up into your lower abdomen and lift the knees off the floor, coming to downward dog. Lift the hips. So welcome to your first downward dog of the day, unless you've practiced before you got here. Let's take the top of the left foot to the floor. So you're stretching the ankle on the front of the ankle on the left side. Then switch to the other side, so you're flipping the foot. Doing this again on the left and the right. Okay. Hold it here in your downward dog. From your downward dog, bend your knees and take your knees to the floor. Untuck your toes. We're coming to child's pose, but this time keep the elbows lifted, lift the armpits, so you feel a long stretch from the fingertips up the arms, down the spine, into the hips and the back of the pelvis. Then come up into your hands and knees again, downward dog. Lift the hips. From here we're going to walk to the top of the mat. Bring your feet parallel, big toes point forward, taking an elbow in each hand. And if it feels good for your back, you could swing gently left to right, right to left. Let the back of the neck completely soften, so you're not holding. Then keeping the hands around the elbows, bend your knees, drop the head, and let the head be as heavy as possible, and roll up through the spine, coming to stand slowly. As you get to the top, roll your shoulders back, arriving in your mountain pose, Tadasana. And without lifting the shoulders, see if you can lift the collarbones. On an inhale, reaching both arms up above the head. And we're going to dive all the way down, sweeping your arms down to the floor, hands to your shins. Inhale for Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. And exhale to fold, stepping back into a lunge, taking the left foot to the floor behind you. Bring your knee down. Stay here for an inhale. So we're going to move through some lunges now. Tuck the back toes under, lifting the knee, and step back to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale to fold. Stepping your right foot back this time. Take it back as far as you can. Bring the knee down. Lift the heart. And then tuck the toes under. Lift the knees. Step to the top. Folding over your legs. On an inhale, rise up to stand. Sweeping the arms above the head. Exhale, hands to heart. And again, inhale, reach up tall. Swan dive, taking the arms out wide as you fold all the way down. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, step your left foot back as far as you can. Bring the knee down. This time rising up to Anjaneyasana. Swing the arms up above the head, looking up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Tuck the back toes under, lifting the knee. And step to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, right foot steps back, knee comes down. Inhale to rise up to Anjaneyasana. And exhale, hands to the floor. Lift the back knee, step to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. On an inhale, rise up. Lift the hearts, come to stand. Exhale, hands to heart. And again, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, sweep the arms out to the side as you fold down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, left foot steps back. Either take your knee to the floor as we were just doing, or keep it lifted this time, rising up to crescent lunge. Reach up tall. Exhale, hands to the floor. Stay here for an inhale. And then step to the top of your mat. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, right foot steps back. Knee down or knee lifted. Rising up for your crescent lunge. And exhale, float the hands down. Stay to inhale. And step to the top, exhale. Inhale, rise all the way up. Come to the top, bring your arms above your head. And exhale, hands to heart. Pausing here. Inhale again, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. We're moving on now, so step your left foot back into a lunge. Then step your right foot back to plank. Hold it here in plank. So remember, there's always option to take the knees to the floor, but if you're feeling energetic today, then you can keep the knees lifted. But try not to either let the hips drop, which can happen sometimes, or lifting the bum up high. You want to be in plank. Then take the knees to the floor. Shift your shoulders, shift your hips forwards, and keep the hips off the floor. We're just lowering the chest and chin to the floor in between your hands. Then inhale into Cobra. Maybe coming up a bit higher if you have that in your body. And then this time, Downward Dog. Bend your knees here, lip between the hands, and walk or step to the top of your mat. Inhale to lengthen forwards, and exhale, fold. This time, bringing your big toes together and your heels together. Take your hands to your hips. Lift the chest just as high as the hips. Engage into the lower abdomen if you haven't, and you're really squeezing the inner feet, inner shins, inner thighs together. And that takes the strain away from your lower back, your back. And then we're going to continue to rise up. Reach the arms up above the head, palms touch, look up at the thumbs, and maybe a little back bend. And exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up again, reach the arms up. And exhale, float the hands down. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, step the right foot back to a lunge. And then the left foot to plank. Remember, you can take the knees to the floor. Shift your chest forward between the arms. So it's normal to shake a little bit here. As long as you're breathing, it's fine. Take your knees down. And then lower your chest and chin between the hands. Lower your hips Lift the chest into cobra and exhale, downward dog. Bend your knees, lifting the heels, then look between your hands. Step or lightly hop if you're there to the top of your mat, so feet between the hands. Bring your big toes together. Inhale, lift the chest, and exhale to fold. Lift your lower belly, so really draw the lower belly in. Lift up through your pelvic floor. Take the hands to the hips. Press your feet down into the ground, especially your big toes. Root down through those arches and lift the chest. But rather than thinking of lifting it, extend forward at the same time and continue to come up to stand. Sending your tailbone to the floor. Reach the arms up, palms together. Maybe a little back bend if that feels appropriate for your body. And then come back to the center, hands to heart. Moving on now. So take your hands to your hips. Bring your weight into your right leg. And step the left foot back behind you into warrior two. So bring your heel in front of your arch on your back leg. Have your block handy if you have one at home. And bend your front knee, opening out the arms. Take your gaze towards your front hand. Breathing here. So we're keeping the practice really simple and straightforward today. Giving you an opportunity to really tune in. Become present. See if you can draw the feet towards each other. Then take your gaze towards your back hand. Feel how that is in your neck. Then straighten your front leg, turn your head to the center. Then turn your toes, so both sets of toes are now facing the long edge of your mat. Bring your arms behind your back and take a hand around each elbow. If that feels pretty hard for you to do, you can take your fists together behind your elbows. Or you might be pretty open in your chest and shoulders already, and you can take your hands together into reverse prayer. Press the hips forward and squeeze the inner thighs and feel a bit of a lift through the chest. And then come back to the center. Keeping the arms where they are, turn your left foot and so the toes are now turned towards the back of your mat. The right heel turns out slightly, and we're coming into warrior two on this side. See if you can feel that stretch still across the front as you open your arms. Turn your head towards the front hand. Something that happens a lot in these warrior poses is the front knee rolls in. So if that's you, you need to really concentrate on drawing the left sitting bone under that front sitting bone. Pressing the knee out towards the little toe side. Turn your head towards the back hand. Feel the stretch in your neck. Straighten your front leg. Okay, sorry about that. Can you all hear me? I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I think it might be something to do with my microphone receiver, so I apologise. So bring your right foot forward if it's not. Reach the left arm up and over the ear. And then come to the centre, open up your arms and turn your toes towards the front. Okay, now turn the left foot to the back of your mat and bend the knee, taking the elbow to the thigh, reaching the arm overhead. And then continue to breathe there. It's actually the battery in the mic, they run out really quickly, so I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that it stays for us for the next few minutes. So we're reaching the arms overhead. Come back to the center, turn your toes towards the edge of your mat and take a hand around each elbow behind your back, or your fists together, or reverse hands. And then inhale, lift up tall, and exhale, fold all the way into your forward bend again. Remember, if it feels too intense for you, then you can take your hands to the floor. Breathing here, tuning in to the inner world. And then take your hands to the floor. Walk your hands round to frame your front foot. Step back to a plank. Holding it in your plank, whether it's knees down or knees up. If your knees are up, really lift your thighs and press your hands into the ground. Lower your knees to the floor or come down through chaturanga into upward dog. If you're with me, take your chest and chin to the floor. And then inhale, lift cobra. Exhale, downward dog. And then let's walk the feet all the way to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, fold. This time, sweep the arms above the head as you rise to stand. And exhale, hands to heart. Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can still hear me. I'm hoping that you can. Can you hear me? Yes. Oh my God. So sorry, everybody. This is insane how quickly these batteries run out and they don't give you any warning. So we're in Trikonasana. That was probably a really long Trikonasana. Have you ever done one that long before? Okay, come to the center and bring your mat, your block with you. Turn your big toes towards the long side of your mat. And then turn the left foot and bring the block, if you've got it, to the inside of your shin. Bring the hand onto the block or onto your shin. Curl the left sitting bone under. I'm glad you lot are so understanding. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this. And then keep rotating your spine, but the foundation of the posture comes from the feet, up into the legs, into the hips, and then extends out into the heart and up through the crown, out through the hands. Okay, I'm going to keep this one here a bit longer in case you are holding it on the other side. Okay, let's press both feet into the ground and come up to the center, moving your block over to one side. Take your toes and turn them to the long side of your mat. Reach the arms up, palms together, and then bring the arms behind your back. Either fists together, elbows, or prayer hands. Inhale, reach up tall through the chest and the crown. And exhale, lift the belly as you fold. And then take your hands to the floor. Bring your block with you as you come all the way around to the top of your mat. This time step to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale to fold. Rising up to stand, reach up tall, bring the palms together. And exhale, hands to heart. Coming into tree pose now. So shift your weight into your right leg. Draw the right hip in and under. Turn the left knee out. And then bring your left foot to the inside of your shin or to the inside of your thigh. Press down through the base of your right big toe. Firm up through the front thigh. If you're steady, bring the hands to the heart. Lift the collarbones. If you're steady there, reach the arms up above the head. If you'd like to take it a bit further, bring your hands to your waist. Bring your knee in towards you and take your hand around the outside of your left foot. If you're steady there, you could try extending the leg. Press the foot into the hand. Bend the knee, bring the knee into the center, and then lower the foot to the floor. Big toes touch. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Shift your weight into your left leg, turn your right knee out, bring the foot to the shin or the inner thigh. Hands to the heart if you did on the previous side, or lift the arms above the head. If you extended the foot on this other side, let's do the same here, taking the hand around the outside of your right foot, extending the leg. Bring the knee in, into the center, whoa, and lower the foot. Inhale, reach up tall through the hands. Exhale, fold all the way to the floor. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, step back to plank. Holding it in your plank. Lift your belly without lifting the hips. Okay, lift the hips to downward dog. From here, bend your knees, walk, step or lightly hop to the top. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up to stand. Reach the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Then grab your block if you have one and place it in the top right corner of your mat. Don't worry if you haven't got one. Step your left foot back behind you for warrior 2, feet position. And then take your right hand. We're going to practice Ardha Chandrasana, so balance half moon pose. Take the right hand onto the floor or onto your block. Then you're going to shift your weight forward into your front leg and lift the back leg. Then you'll probably need to walk your hand or block forwards. Wrapping the inner thigh forward on that supporting leg as you turn the top hip out. And eventually your chest turns. Maybe your top hand lifts up. And if you have very steady balance here, you could even try looking up. Then with control, take your left foot to the floor. Bring your block with you, come to the center, come to stand. Switch to the other side. If you have a block, place it to the top left corner of your mat. Come into warrior 2, feet position. And then reach forward, take your left hand to the floor or to the block. Shift forwards onto the left foot, lifting the right leg up. So really draw everything into your center here. Perhaps lifting the right arm up, perhaps looking up. With control, lower your back foot to the floor. Leave the block where it is. Bring your hands to the floor and crawl your hands around to face the original top of your mat. Now you're in a lunge. Bring your left knee to the outside of your right foot and we're going to come to sit for a twist. So bring your right foot to the outside of your left knee. Lift up through the left arm and take your right hand behind you. Press down through the right foot and then turn to your right. If this twist feels really challenging for you, the best thing to do is straighten your left leg and potentially even sit up higher on a block or a blanket. Breathing here. So it is 9:30, as we've had a few delays. Then if you would like to finish when we do the second twist and take some minutes in Shavasana. Or if you'd like to continue with me, I'm going to go on for another 10 minutes. But make sure that you finish. If you're finishing now, finish with a twist on the other side and take at least 2 minutes in Shavasana. Okay, if you're staying with me, turn your chest to the center. Feel your spine in the center here. And bring your hands in front of you. Step your left foot back and then your right foot back to plank. Then bring your right knee behind your right wrist, coming into pigeon pose. Bring your left knee to the floor. Keep your back toes tucked under. Flex your front foot. The thing to avoid here, because I'm not with you, so I don't know what's going on in your alignment, but what usually goes wrong is that you roll to the right side. So you want to really maintain balance between left and right side. And depending on how you're feeling today, you might want to stay upright in more of a back bend version. If you're strong enough, then you can reach your arms up. Or if you feel like you want to just go more into the stretch of it, then take your elbows down. And some of you might even be able to bring your head to the floor completely. If you're in the back bend version, eventually make your way down when you're ready. And then slowly come up. Roll onto the right hip. And then bring the left foot to the outside of the right knee for a twist on the left. Reach up through the right. Bring the elbow to the outside of the knee. Lifting up tall. Exhale, turning from the navel center. Inhale back to the center. Bring your hands in front of you, step back to a plank. Bring your left knee behind your left wrist. Lower your right foot to the floor. Right knee to the floor. And maybe you'll be in more of a back bend version for the first few breaths, if that feels like what your body needs today. Or come down onto your elbows if you're ready for that. And perhaps the forehead comes to the hands or onto your block. Try to avoid rolling onto the left hip. Keep drawing the left hip crease back and the right hip to the floor. Come all the way up. Roll onto the left hip. Bring your right shin to cross over your left shin. And then roll all the way onto your back. So just checking to see if anyone's still with me, considering, yes, it looks like it. Come down onto your back. Bring your knees in towards your belly. Take your arms out to the side. We're coming into another twist. And take your legs over to the left. So in this twist, we want the palms to face up. Try, if you've got space, stretch your arms out. Otherwise, bend the elbows. And if it feels okay for your neck, turn your face to the right. Coming into the center, over to the other side. Coming into the center, we're going to do a back bend. So even if you normally do wheel, let's do bridge first of all. Bring your heels towards your hips. Big toes point forwards. Press down through the base of your big toes, so you want to avoid rolling onto the outside edges of your feet. Then start to curl the pelvis off the floor, all the way up to the top of your back. Straighten your arms if they're not. Hug the arms underneath your body and interlace the fingers. You want to really try and shuffle the shoulder heads underneath the body and lift the chest towards the face. Keep pressing down through the base of your big toes. If you'd like to come into wheel, then place your hands in either side of your ears. Straightening your arms, lifting all the way up. If you're in bridge, stay for as long as you want and come down bone by bone if you're ready. If you're in wheel, take the top of your head to the floor, tuck your chin, and very carefully lower your spine bone by bone to the floor. Resting here for a moment or two. Let your spine settle. Then bring your feet together and let the knees roll out to the side for Baddha Konasana. Bring your arms above your head, taking an elbow in each hand. Closing the eyes. Bring the arms down next to the body. Turn the palms up. Bring the knees in and stretch both legs out for your final posture, Shavasana. Bring the shoulder blades onto the back, turning the inner arms and palms up. And let the legs become heavy. Relaxing the muscles of the face. Let the tongue relax. Softening the muscles around the eyes too. And let the jaws be soft. The forehead, neck, shoulders, chest, belly, groins, legs, arms, hands, feet, the whole body. Let your breath be natural. There's nothing left to do. There's nothing left to do except be. Start to gently move your toes, fingers and thumbs. Stretching your arms out behind you. Bring your feet onto the ground. Bring your feet flat onto the floor. And then knees come in towards your belly, rolling onto one side of your body. Stay there for a moment. Gently press yourself up to sit, to close your practice, crossing your shins. Bring the palms together and rest the thumbs at the heart center, bowing your head. Inviting a sense of gratitude and dedicating this practice to all that is, the oneness that we are, without need to know or to control, simply to trust that the practice has created change, direction, positivity, perhaps even love, in some small way within you, and perhaps this will ripple out into the interactions that you have in the rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here, and especially for your patience and understanding. I'd love to know how you feel. If you wouldn't mind, before you go, to leave a comment. Let me know how that was for you, how you're feeling now. And I'll have a read and comment back afterwards. Thanks, Ashley. Thanks for being here. So yeah, before you go, let me know if you're watching this as a recorded session. It would be still really good if you could let me know how you're feeling. It's good to get feedback. Hi Ian, thank you. How are you both? How are you feeling? Those of you that are still here, just you can put just one word if you want in the comments. Thank you so much. So, if you'd like to join me again for another live class, there'll be one in a month's time. So, if you're following my page, then you'll be able to get updates. If you haven't followed my page yet, then follow my page, and then you've got updates. Hi, Maddie. That's good, Alvina. Thank you. Charged and relaxed. That's nice. There's also, if you're interested in joining my classes in person, I'm teaching in West Byfleet at Fallbrook School in Surrey, and also in Brighton now, where I live, on Monday evenings. So Monday evenings in Brighton, Tuesday evenings in West Byfleet. Have a look at click the link in the description, and you'll be able to see more information about that. So thank you very much for being here, and let me know if there's anything you want me to include in the next one. I might do a beginners live class as well, so if that interests you, let me know. All right, have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you.